I say just find your one niche and just like dive deep on that one thing. Block out all the distractions, all the people that say, it can't be done, the people that's not in your corner, and just, dive deep and just stay focused and it'll work, over time everything works.
So what have you been up to? Obviously, you've been closing some deals. So like,
Trying to. I'm
well, tell me
trying.
all about it.
Yeah, I've been trying to grow my team. Really, really scale up a little bit now. Now that I have like more of a foundation and systems in place.
I love that. Are you doing wholesaling? Have you expanded to just buy and holds? Have you done burrs?
No, I haven't done any birds. I bought a flip, so I'm working on a flip right now in Galveston.
Is that how do you feel about flipping?
See, I don't know. It hasn't started, so I just
Okay.
got it like last week, so it's kind of it's fresh.
Well,
So
you're gonna have to keep me updated on how you feel about flipping because I hear like 5 million different stories. Some people like
mhm.
really love it, other
Yeah,
people
really
really
hate it,
don't.
huh? Yeah, yeah. So I really just plan to keep it in Airbnb because it's like 5 blocks from the beach. So, it'll be a great Airbnb more
Did you
than
get,
just,
is that a deal machine?
oh yeah, all of them come from Deal Machine.
Well, tell me about that one. It's how far away from the beach?
5 blocks. So like
So,
in Gap, I would just have been driving for dollars all summer and driving down the street. I really been door knocking all summer. So just on the way to like my next lead, I'm driving down the street and I look to the left and I thought I saw a lot. That's why I really stopped. It was just a big lot and trees and grass. But when I really slowed down, I looked in like further, looking at the lot, and there was a house in the back. So I got out, and you could obviously with the trees and the grass, we knew it was abandoned. So I just started the search of knocking on the neighbors, seeing what was going on with the house, and I found the son. I found the wife first. I found the wife, and she told me that her husband dad used to live there, and she connected me with him, and then we just started this whole process. He didn't know how to sell it because he was a stepchild. Well, yeah, he was a stepchild, so he didn't know, he really had any rights to sell.
got it. So I love that you were door knocking because I feel like I'm hearing that more now too.
Mhm.
Is that how you got the number or how did you get, did the neighbors connect you with her?
No, they just really, they didn't give me no numbers. They didn't know where he stayed, if he was alive. They didn't know anything. They just basically the neighbor had been there a long time, so she knew, a lot about the house next door. And I just skipped traced. I looked up, tried to find. I found the guy's mom first, actually. So I went to the mom's house to find her. Um, she had passed away. The neighbors told me that, and they gave me her son's name. So I found the son's address, just through skip tracing, and went to the son's house. And his wife was home. He was at work, and then she connected us.
Holy cow. So you
Yeah,
really did some work on this one.
yeah, detective work. Yeah, a lot of work.
So he just didn't know how to sell it, so it was just sitting
He's
there.
just sitting there. Been sitting there for, I think, passed away in 2014. So
Oh
what,
wow.
7 years? Yeah,
And
back
no
taxes.
one had tried contacting him to like buy it or anything?
No, and what's crazy, he told me that after we got it under contract, he started getting phone calls about it. It's
People
crazy how
started
that
feeling
works.
that energy coming out.
Yeah,
People
yeah,
started feeling it and you luckily stopped and like
hmm,
did something about it.
yeah. Just
That
taking action.
and they so what do you mind me asking what like what the numbers were for this one and what you think your profit's going to be?
I bought it for 44,000. Rehab
44,000 and it's that close to the water?
that close to the beach. It's crazy. It's crazy. And then like we have like long lots here in Galveston. So most lots sit two houses on them. So we'll have like a front house and then in the back, most people have apartment garages. So like the house that's just standing, they only ever built an apartment garage. So the whole front of the lot, that's all the trees and grass. So it's a huge lot. If you wanted to build a home, I have no intentions to build a home right there, at least not right now. But it's a lot of possibilities for it.
That's gonna be so. Are there Airbnbs in that area too, like already?
Oh yeah, a lot. So Galveston is a big tourist town, so
Right.
it's
So are
big,
you
big on
gonna,
tourism.
how much do you think you'll probably get to for charge per night for there?
Around 250, maybe 300, honestly. I mean, it depends on how, how nice you make it, how Airbnb attractive, you really make it.
You have to be one of those, isn't it an Airbnb like super
A super
host?
house?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So
like
I've never done one.
you're gonna be getting to that stage because that's what I always look for. I'm like, oh, they're a super host.
Super house,
Oh,
yeah. I
that's
should
what I'm.
stay there. Yeah.
Yes, I'll come down and stay in it once it's done.
Oh yeah, come on.
And then I can actually visit Galveston and
Yeah,
I'll know someone to talk to and
there
show
you
me
go. I'll
around.
show you around. Yep. Yep.
So what would you, so before this, did you just wholesale deals before this?
Correct.
So
Just
is
been
that what
wholesale.
you're using to fund like the flip of this?
Correct. Yeah,
Okay.
just wholesale. But actually, trying to build a relationship with a bank. So I'm using a bank to fund the rehab side.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's so exciting. Like you just took your business to a whole nother level just by venturing out because you probably could have wholesaled it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, most definitely. I could have wholesale that, but I didn't even market it as a wholesale deal because
That's
I
and
didn't.
sorry, I keep interrupting you.
No, you good. No, I was just saying I never marketed it as a wholesale deal because it was just too close to the beach. I don't even know what I could have got for it. I'm sure I could have got, something pretty nice for it that close. And it needs a lot of work, but at the same time, it really doesn't. It's just like it's a solid house. It survived plenty of hurricanes, and that just being the way that it's still sitting, it survived hurricanes. So it's a solid house. It just hasn't been attended to in a while.
Well, and the fact that you thought it was just a lot in the beginning
Yes,
and then finding out that just tells me how much property there actually is to it. So the potential there, even after you make it
correct.
a Airbnb, is like
Yeah.
huge.
And I tagged it as a vacant lot too on in the app. That's what was crazy. But I just slowed down. I started looking, and I was like, "Whoa, it's a house."
There's a home back there that
Yeah,
no
it
one knows
is.
about.
Nobody knows about.
Did he say that he got like any like I don't know, like those oh my gosh, why am I blanking? City write-ups or anything like code
He never got
violations.
one. No, but there were some that had to be paid. So
Okay.
so I guess they just didn't know who to bill. Because once the
Uh,
last, I think his uncle passed in the house last. So after that, the house had just that was the 2014. So since then, the house had just been sitting, and I don't think the city knew who to bill. So the taxes, I think there were what's that is $8,000 worth of taxes, city taxes, and then like $4,000 of fines from the grass and people going out. There've been homeless people, breaking into the house, sleeping there just because they know it's vacant. So I'm sure the city's pretty happy they don't have to deal with it anymore.
I'm sure the neighbors are too. Like
Oh
that's
yeah,
so
oh
nice.
most definitely. Yes.
And you already
All the
built
neighbors.
that relationship with them. So they're already like they
Correct.
know you and so
Yeah.
you already built that good rapport with them as
Hmm.
well.
Correct. And the ones that I didn't know, and they see me out there, they come and start, talking to me, introducing themselves. So like I know the whole neighborhood now.
Hey, and so next time there's a house they want sold, you've already networked your way through that
Yeah,
neighborhood.
that's the plan. That'll be nice if it works like that.
That's amazing. And so tell me, like, how many deals do you think you've done so far? Like, I mean, we saw each other two
Mm,
years ago now. No, 1 year,
yeah.
year and a half. I don't know
I
what
think
time
the
is.
whole scaling was what 2019. It was before
Oh
COVID.
shoot. Yeah, it was. It
Yeah,
was
it was before,
2019.
yeah, it was like 2019. I mean, probably it's 20, probably like 15, 20 deals.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Like, are you enjoying the ride?
Oh yeah, yeah, most definitely. And then like when I first met you and to meet you at the conference to where I'm at now, most definitely just seeing the growth and the transition.
That's
It's
amazing. I
incredible.
want you to well, once I come down to Galveston,
Galveston.
I
Yeah.
can't talk today. But or if you come up to Indy, if you ever find yourself in Indy,
Hmm.
we'll take you out on town and show you around.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
David lives here, the CEO. You had to have met him too then. He was
I've
there.
never met David. I met David was in
Josh.
Houston?
David was in Houston. David,
Really?
Josh, and I were the ones in Houston.
Okay. It was just when I saw you at the table, it was just you.
They left me alone. That's
Yeah,
all
they
right.
left you. Yeah. When I never met David. I met Josh. And then Rochelle was my coach
Oh my
on the
gosh,
enterprise.
yes. Did you
And
like working with Rochelle and the
oh yeah, I
onboarding?
loved it. Oh yeah, I loved it. Yeah, she's incredible.
She's so amazing. She's become a really good friend and has
Most definitely.
and I love
Mine
that. So that
too.
means you're on the elite plan then now.
Correct. Yeah.
So what's the rest of your goals for this year look like then? Obviously flipping. Are you building a team? I know you were talking about
Yeah,
that.
building really looking for my main goals for the rest of the year is building a team and really it's well me and Rochelle came up with a budget for marketing for the rest of the year.
Oh,
So
love
right
it.
now I'm tracking the KPIs and sending out consistent marketing. And those are just two my main things I'm focusing on for the rest of the year.
Are you doing cold calling then on top of that, or is your main form mail
It's
marketing?
just mailing because door knocking has been working for me this summer. So I closed like 3 deals just this summer off period, just door knocking. Um, so I got in the Zach's program
You were like
and he
the I don't know how many like I've done these calls and they're always like Zach
uh
Booth, I'm in his program, and I'm like,
yeah.
all right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's incredible. So I went to Utah and met Zach last week and got to sit in the office and talk to him and really see how they do it and and get a true understanding of the business side to it.
That's
But
amazing. So
yeah,
did you I hear he does a lot of hiking and stuff like that. Did you
oh
do that?
man. No, I didn't. But he's a real hunting fanatic. Yeah, it's deer on the deer heads on the wall. He got bears, got a mountain lion. It's crazy.
I have not been out there.
Yeah, it's cold. It's
It's
definitely
cold.
not. Yeah, it's too cold coming from an island. It's too cold for me.
All right, you can't come to Indy then until the summertime because you will think it is just so much colder
Really?
here.
How cold is it now?
Right now, we're like in the 50s
Hmm.
slash like in the morning, it's like 40.
30. Yeah, yeah, that's cold.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm popping out all the sweaters right now
I
because
see.
it's getting pretty chilly. But yours sounds so nice because it's just like 70. If it could be 70, but you're right, the humidity like
Hmm.
kills me
Kills
'cause
it.
it
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
it
takes
freeze
off.
up. Yeah.
It just does not look cute
Yeah.
for me. But that's amazing. So how did you get into Zach's program? Like, how did you find
Uh,
out about it?
I mean, just from watching the coaching calls, and I was looking. So I'm in the police as well, but I'm just looking to grow with people who understand driving for dollars. Because all my deals I've closed, they all come from driving for dollars. I've never closed a deal. Well, probably just one off like a list, but most of them all of them come from driving for dollars. So anybody that understands that and can help me grow that, I'm looking to be a part of that.
Do you ever have feedback from the sellers of like why they chose your post, your mail marketing, or like why they chose you?
Uh, yes, as far as why they chose me, it just like the last deal I closed, she was just saying that she felt like I understood the problem and I knew how to solve it. And even with the house, it was just I knew the process of solving it. And, that just came from over time. The postcard, most people like the picture on the house. Most people like the picture.
I love hearing that because then you
Yeah.
know, like going forward, like what catches their attention. It
Hmm.
especially because some people would say you're in a very saturated market.
Correct.
And I love it because you're showing that when people say like there's no deals there,
Hmm.
it's like no, there's always deals. You found a deal. It still just blows my mind when you found a deal literally 5 blocks away from the beach, and you
Yeah,
got it for under $100,000.
it is crazy, crazy.
That because I can't imagine what are the house prices that close. Like for a
Hmm.
really nice home, like what's the average down there? Because I know what it would be up here.
It's getting crazy in Galveston, honestly. I'll say the average price for home is nothing less than like 275 right now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why it just blows my mind. I'm like,
Hmm. Yeah,
that's
it's crazy.
so exciting. You should definitely document as you go. I want to just send somebody to follow you around with the camera. But like you need to like
Let's do
document. You need to document like
it.
how you do all of this because like seeing especially because it's your first flip, like what are I would
Hmm.
love to like come back and hear like what were the pains, what were the things you
Hmm.
learned? How are you finding your like contractor?
Just word of mouth, and my friend's uncle is a big time investor in Galveston, so just pulling from him a lot of his contacts and his resources. So like one of the first things, when I finally bought the property, I had to get it cleaned out because it was still things in there from 7 years ago, a full house really.
Oh
So
wow.
he gave me his contact on who does junk removal. So that was step one.
That sounds like a lot. And that's what I always wonder when I add owner occupied homes, especially. I'm just
Hmm.
like, who's gonna clean it out when it's like
Yeah,
done? And I've worked with a
yeah.
couple investors here that do that, and
Hmm.
I just cannot imagine. Like I see the dumpsters, and it's just like
Hmm.
a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah. It's too much for you. Too much
That's
for
too
me
much
too.
for me.
Yeah,
Because I always
facts.
just think about it and I'm like, that's just a lot to clean out. And with family members and stuff too, I think about that of holy crap, that's a lot of stuff to move.
A whole lot. A
And
whole
you
lot.
have to and you had like squatters and
Squatters. Yes.
I don't want to
It
know what
wasn't a pretty
else.
sight.
Yeah,
It wasn't pretty at all.
yeah, there's probably things I don't want to know about, but like there
Hmm.
you have to go through all of that to like
Yeah.
what is the estimated repair cost for it then? Are you having to go straight to like the studs or can you like
Yeah, so we're gonna have to go to the stud on most parts. Like the roof. The roof is the only thing that's probably still good on the house. But as far as the floor, and we're gonna have to reframe it just to because right now it's like a huge 1 bedroom, 1 bath, but it's like an oversized one bedroom. So we're gonna make it turn it into a two. And downstairs, you can honestly make it a duplex. So that's what we're thinking about doing because it's like it sits on center blocks. And downstairs was a garage, but it's enclosed where you can make it a duplex.
oh, so you
So
could have two Airbnbs on
we
your
could,
hands?
yeah, for sure, for sure,
Shoot,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
exciting.
Mhm.
Are you looking to just kind of pace yourself then after this? Like what's going I know you said you're building your team. Are you wanting to do more buy and hold or are you thinking just like continue
Well,
wholesaling and wait?
multifamily is really my end goal as far as real estate. Just building my capital and buying multifamily units. And getting paid off the doors. This one, yeah, I only really the only reason I really kept this one is just because it was like it's a great deal. It's like it's a crazy deal, and I know I can make income off Airbnb, and if all else fails, I can rent it out and still, have positive cash flow.
Absolutely. I just
Mm.
keep thinking about the fact that you have like a beach house right now and
Yeah,
you could go and bring your family there if you wanted to for a
yeah,
weekend.
we can. Yeah, yeah. Holidays, we go to the house and change the scenery.
And if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
29.
Holy cow, you're under
Yeah,
30 and you're doing this.
yeah,
Man, I love
yeah.
it. Congratulations. This is huge. This is huge
Hmm.
what you're building. And what would you say? I want to ask two things because you've been on this journey for a couple of years. Like, what would you say to someone who is starting out and kind of has that analysis paralysis of things?
Hmm. Uh, I'll say just find your one niche and just like dive deep on that one thing. Block out all the distractions, all the people that say, it can't be done, or the people that's not in your corner, and just, dive deep and just stay focused, and it'll work, over time, everything works.
What would be, and then, okay, so my second one is out of your whole experience so far, what's like one big takeaway that you've got from it, from some of the lessons you've learned? If you have more
Oh,
than, if you have more than one, you can give me more than
as far
one,
as what
but
kind of takeaways, like just through wholesaling, like my biggest takeaway.
yeah.
So I'll say my biggest takeaway is like it goes to the first question. Just diving deep on one thing. So I've tried scaling, like real fast before off deals, just doing cold calling, doing text blasts, and doing a lot of things, and that never works. So the real success came from when I just found my one niche and just went deep on that one thing.
I
So
love it.
I'll say that was my biggest takeaway. Just I think I got that from Max Maxwell.
I was
So
about to
he
say,
just
I've
says
heard
found.
it numerous times, but it's so nice to hear
Mhm.
it from someone who's like, you've tried all the
A
things,
lot
and
of things. Yeah.
yeah, and I think people
And
get overwhelmed by that because it
mhm.
starts to be like you're juggling
Correct. Correct.
all
You
this
juggling.
stuff.
All of them work, but when you just by yourself, you're getting spread out in so many ways. You don't know, which way to go.
Yeah, I feel like at that point something slips through the cracks because
Correct.
you're not following through on that one thing. It's trying to keep up with everything while,
Hmm.
like, I mean, there's so much to this business of like lead
A lot
generation.
of pieces.
You're, you are acquisitions and
It
dispositions
is position.
all in
Yeah.
one. You don't have
Correct.
someone else to get it. So,
Yeah.
um, as someone who's also like continuing to learn through real estate investing, how do you do mail marketing? And I'm sorry, I'm going over our time a little bit. I want to be
Nah, you
respectful.
good. I got the whole day. Mhm.
I wanted to know, how do you, could you tell me like your process of how you start mail? Like, do you do it like you go driving, you come back, you start the mail, or do you have like a system in place of like you sit down once a week and like start all the mail? Like, how do you kind of keep that system flowing?
So since dealing with Rochelle, um, we came out with I wanted to do a certain amount of leads a month. I really wanted to spend, I think, $8,000 to $10,000 before the year was up. So we came out with how many mailers do I have to send each month, to get to that budget. So I send out mailers the first and the 15th of every month, and they
Nice.
come from. I do sit down and filter out, from past driving, leads that's been sitting that I've never marketed to. I've only cold called to, and I got a bunch of leads that like I've never sent mailers to. So some of them come from that pool, some come from recent driving, um, and that's really how I do it. And it's all inbound calls. So that way I could still be free to door knock. And when I come home, I check the voicemail. If I got a lead, I follow up with them.
I love that. I also am doing mail marketing just because
Hmm.
it's a passive thing that is
Correct.
automated, and I think the biggest takeaway for people, and I don't know if you can, I think you'll agree with this, but like it takes more time, yes, um, but it is something that is very systemized. Like, I don't know, cold
Correct.
calling, just you need to be very diligent about
Oh
it
yeah.
and very systematic, and you have to
And
have the
follow
time.
up. Yep. Yeah, for sure. It
And with
keeps you in the chair.
Yeah, and I think that especially with how many leads, especially in a very saturated market, you have to add more leads than the average person. So
Hmm.
spending time doing that. Do you have certain like time blocks through the week that you're like, I'm just driving this, or is it just kind of like I have this goal I have to get by the end of the week? I just need it.
Yeah. So Monday I sit down, and Monday is just like my my busy day, well, my business day, when I'm sitting at home, I'm doing lead generation, setting up my KPI sheets. I'm doing follow-up calls. It's just my whole day while I sit at home. Tuesday and Wednesdays, I do dropping for dollars from 8 to 3. And then Thursday through Saturday, I do door knocking.
Wow. I love it.
Mhm.
You're so like, I love the regimented, like,
Yeah, that came over time. It hasn't always been like that.
I'm not type A, so I feel you on that. I'm not,
Yeah,
I have to have a schedule or else I start going like squirrel and like
yeah, and just jumping everywhere. And, yep,
going all the places.
getting pulled everywhere. Yeah,
Right. And it's not productive because you're like, you get, again, things
correct.
slip through the cracks if you don't have a process. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's, I think, another thing is just like having that process. It doesn't have to be complicated, it just needs
Correct.
to be consistent.
Yeah, so what works for you? And that's really the main thing. What works for you? How can you
um,
maximize, your schedule?
I do have a question. Okay, so I have a challenge for you. Well, not a challenge. I have a favor to ask.
What's up?
So we just released a video on door knocking,
Hmm.
and I would love your feedback on it. Um,
Okay.
if there's something that you're like,
I
I
watched it. You
Dakota.
and Dakota, yeah, y'all went door knocking.
Yeah. Well, we role played because I we had a limited amount of time to record it, and so we
Hmm.
role played it. But I'd love to get your feedback on like what you would have done differently, or like maybe a different situation you get a lot of. And I'd love to do like maybe another interview where we talk about that, because
Okay.
I really want to focus. I know we do a lot of tutorials, but I really want to focus and help people who are just starting out in real estate investing, and they're
Hmm.
looking to really be guided to
Yeah.
what specifically they need to do. Because we can say, hey, ask them about the condition of the house. Well, they're not going to know what exactly
Hmm.
about the condition of the house they need to ask. So we're trying to like give them worksheets and things like that. So I'd love to hear your feedback about the door knocking, because you actually do it,
Yeah.
and maybe some of the things that you've heard and the objections you've overcome, because I'm sure
Right.
that was a learning experience in itself.
I got all types of rejections, but it's crazy. What made me even go to like door knocking this summer was like my first time. Me and my brother ever door knocked. We got our first deal. Well, it wasn't our first deal, but we closed our first time door knocking. We closed the deal. So me going door knocking was just, it was like I knew this worked because I was 1-0 already. So like I knew it worked.
What possessed you to start door knocking?
Man, so we have been trying to find a lady for like the longest. For I want to say at least 9 months. We had skip traced her, we had sent mail, we had called cold call. She picked up the phone one time and I talked and she hung right up. She didn't really know what I wanted. So that was just, and we knew the house, like we saw the condition of the house. It was kind of like the house, we just got. So we knew she wasn't doing anything with it. So it was just like, we gotta figure out what's going on. And I felt like, that was the thing to do. He said, let's go do a knock it. And I was like, okay.
So you went
And
to
like
her
when we got
house?
there to her house, yeah. So when I knocked and I was told her while I was there, she was excited. Come in, like really happy to see me, like she knew me. And I was like, we should have done this a long time ago.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. Because I was like, oh, she's gonna be like, what are you
I
creeping
got
out my
that.
house?
Yeah, I got that before. It's okay. It's fine.
I would love to, if you're open to it, I would love to set up a time to do another like recording of like some of those instances that you've run
Hmm.
into. Cause
Okay.
man, I wanna like come down there and just follow you around door knocking.
Yeah, it's fun. Some days it's fun. We could definitely do it. You get dogs coming after you, people not happy to see you.
Dogs coming after you?
Yeah, I haven't been like literally chased by a dog, but I've had dogs run up, like through the fence and things like that.
Okay.
Yep. And I just go to the next house.
You're just,
I don't even
you're
try.
like, all right, and
Yeah,
forward.
that's a no. They're not interested.
I love that. And do you have door hangers that you give out or
No,
put?
I don't. I don't. So
Okay.
that's one thing I do need to do is get some door hangers. So, like the people that aren't there, at least they know I came by.
Yeah, especially like if I'm thinking of a family member who has a vacant home. I've been trying to get them to sell it for I don't know how long and they won't. But
Mhm.
I keep thinking every time I go to check on the house, there's door hangers on it and she picks them up like every month. And I'm like, well, at least
Really?
she's seeing them.
Seeing it, yeah. Yeah.
And she may just, I'm working on her.
One day, over time.
It's one of those though where I think that and I'm sure you've got this objection, but she's so overwhelmed with the amount of stuff in the house. It's from my grandparents, and she's just so overwhelmed with the amount of things in it. And I think she feels like she has to go through it all, that she doesn't want to do anything with it because she's just
Right.
like kind of crippled by that. So I'm trying to like,
Mhm.
man, I've tried
I definitely
everything.
have a house like that right now.
Do you?
And I've tried everything. I've tried to tell them I'll get it removed, but see, they have a personal connection to the thing. So
Yeah. And
yeah,
that's the thing is
that's
I'm
tough.
like, I'm not saying I want to throw everything out. I'm just saying let's move forward to getting it
Yeah.
gone.
Hmm.
Like it
Let's go
looks,
through it.
it's definitely got code violations. So
Mm.
not to just like dump my thing on you, but that was
Yeah.
like that has been just the biggest thing in my head of how to overcome this objection. But I'm glad I'm not the only one going through it. I mean, I hope
Oh
you
no.
get it.
Yeah, I've got that. Uh, I really don't know what to say besides like, you said this is your family member, right?
Yeah.
So you can sit down and talk to her
She's
and
a
walk her through.
very this is Benji, whoever's editing this video, you can edit this part out.
Okay.
She's a very stubborn older lady
Hmm.
that just will not like she's just like, nope, I don't even want to talk about it. And I'm just like,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she's
she's
stuck in her ways.
she is stuck in her ways. And my mom,
Yeah.
she's my aunt, and my mom's
Uh,
just like, no, she's not going to talk about it. Like, just drop it. Don't ruffle the
mhm.
feathers. And I'm like, this house is literally, it's sad to look at too.
Yeah.
Like, as a person who cares about it,
Hmm.
you know,
So this is your grandma's house.
this is my grandma's house, but they've
Okay.
been dead for 20 years.
Yeah. Wow.
Like, this house has been vacant for 20 years,
20 years.
holes in
So
the
it's your
attic.
mom. Your
Yeah.
mom and her have interest in it.
Yeah. Well, my mom is, well, technically, my mom gave
Gave
her
it over.
portion to my aunt. So
Yeah, that's
she,
the same
my,
thing with my mom and my aunt. Okay. So she's full owner of it.
and I told her, I was like, you know you have rights to this house, right? Like
Hmm.
yes, you technically told her that she could have it, but there's no written documentation
Hmm.
that's like you don't
Oh, yeah.
she still owns part of it. So I'm like,
Okay.
get this house taken care of. The neighbors have to think that is the most wretched thing on
Oh
the
yeah,
block.
they hate it. They hate it.
Yeah. So I'm just like I don't know what to do at this point, except for sometimes I've decided I'll bring it up like once a month and just be like, so how's the
What you doing
house?
house? Yeah, you can do that too. That'll work. At
I
least you know
mean,
you first on the list. So
I
that
know.
really you hope to be first on the
I
list, but
know. Well, and that's
yeah,
what I told her. She's paying utilities for it. She's paying all the stuff for it. And like,
really.
and the taxes, all that.
Oh,
It's
she
just,
keeps the taxes up to date.
yeah, she does
Yeah,
everything.
that's
She
good.
pays for everything. But I'm like, no one's living there. You
Hmm.
could make money
You're
off of
just
this
wasting
house.
money. Yeah.
Sorry,
Mm.
I just went on a complete rant. It's
No,
been a,
that's fine.
it's been a,
Have you asked her to remove the stuff, put it in the storage for her?
she's so overwhelmed by the
She
stuff.
won't do nothing.
Yeah, she won't do nothing. I will go over there. I will help you go through it. She's
Mm.
like, I'll get to it one time, but she's a procrastinator and like,
Yeah.
so she's just not going to go do it. And so I feel like I'm just going to have to either go do it myself and go and
And
be
deal
very
with it.
forceful
Yeah, and deal with it. That's
or
me.
yeah, and just be like, listen, this is ridiculous. And I'm
Hmm.
almost like mad that it's getting to be so bad, you know, because you're
Yeah.
seeing this house like just
You grew up
depreciate.
in it?
I have a lot of memories there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So walking in, I mean, it's gotten
It's
so bad.
hard.
last time I went in there, animal got into the window and like tore up. So anything that's left in there
Yeah.
is pretty much damaged anyways. So anyways, maybe
That's
you can,
true.
I'll let you know my update on that one.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
When that happens. And then I would love to connect again to talk about the door knocking and keep me updated on the flip.
For sure. For sure. I got you.
It's so nice to see you again too. I'm sorry that
Likewise.
I had a lapse of a moment in the beginning.
Yeah, I'm sure you meet a lot of people. So, I wouldn't really expect you to see me and be,
No, but
shocked.
this is so nice to connect again. And I really hope that we can actually connect again in person at some point.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that'll be good.
All right,
That'll be real
awesome.
good.
Well, have a great rest of your day. Message me if you need anything. And just let me know if you need anything at all, okay?
Okay, I appreciate it.
All right, talk to you later.
All right, have a good one.
You too.